I wrote 2 books about it, Zero Limits, and 10 years later I wrote At Zero. This book has changed millions of lives. It's the true story of a therapist who helped heal an entire ward of mentally ill criminals by using this Hawaiian process called Ho'oponopono. Now, you don't need to remember Ho'oponopono, but I'll tell you how simple it is. There's 4 statements. And what the therapist was doing, he was working at a hospital for the mentally insane. These people were shackled and sedated because they were so dangerous. They were murderers, they were rapists, they were violent. The hospital couldn't keep staff, it couldn't keep doctors. In a desperate attempt to get a doctor on call, they found this Hawaiian therapist who said, well, I'll go and I'll be there as your therapist and you'll satisfy your state requirements, but I'm not going to do traditional therapy. I'm going to do Ho'oponopono. So he started doing Ho'oponopono, these 4 phrases, and as he did it, those patients got better. They didn't have to be shackled. They didn't have to be sedated. In a few months, they started to be released, being pronounced as healed and whole. In 4 years, that ward was closed. I researched this. I interviewed him. I wrote Zero Limits, which is the story about this. I did seminars with the therapist. And the 4 phrases are so simple. He is saying these 4 phrases inside himself to his connection to the universe, to God, to the divine, to Gaia, whatever you want to call that higher power. We all have different words. I call it the great mystery or the great something. And he's saying inside himself, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. That's all. So what's happening? When he was looking at the charts of these criminals, he's looking at their charts, he's not looking at the criminals. He's looking at their charts, he's feeling emotions. He's feeling embarrassed, rage, anger, guilt, any number of different things. He wants to clear those emotions. He's not trying to heal the patient. The patient is triggering emotions in him. So whatever's being triggered in him, he's feeling it, and he's kind of talking to the divine, the universe, the great something, the great mystery. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. It's a shorthand. It's kind of a petition or a prayer where he's saying, please forgive me. I don't know what part of me or my ancestors helped create this person, this belief system in them. It must be in me if I'm noticing it in them. I'm sorry for any part of my role in this, even though he wasn't physically involved with any of it. He's taking responsibility. I'm sorry for any part of that. Thank you for healing this, for erasing this, for removing this. I love you for this healing, for this clearing, for my life, for this rejuvenation. As a result of saying those 4 phrases over and over and over again, those feelings in him disappear. So he's removing his beliefs, he's removing his emotions, and getting back to that little spiritual vibe that I said earlier was going through him. As a result of him getting to peace, the patients responded to it and got better. Now let's take this by extension. For everybody that's watching this, for you and me, I have heard from tens of thousands of people who have used these 4 statements for money problems, relationship problems, health problems, animal problems, employer problems, business problems, world problems, everything, everything. And what's happening is there's a couple fundamental concepts. One is you have to accept total responsibility for whatever you're noticing. So if you don't like whoever's in the political party right now and you're blaming them for everything, not in Ho'oponopono. In Ho'oponopono, you have to look within yourself and say, some part of me helped create this. And if I don't like it, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Please heal it, please clear it, please remove it. You do this for whatever is surfacing in your life. You've got a relationship problem, somebody at work, an employer or employee, health problem, anything like that. You notice that you're noticing it. The therapist used to say, have you ever noticed that when there's a problem, you are there? Meaning you're the common denominator. You are participating in this problem unknowingly. So you take responsibility for it, even not knowing how you are responsible in whatever crazy way. So you take responsibility like, okay, I see that I'm not getting along with my sister, but it's not my sister, it's my perception of my sister. The problem's over here. The sister is a trigger. The trigger is here in me. It all goes back to everything we've been talking about. It's all inside, and it's coming from a belief. One way to change that belief, that perception, is with Ho'oponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Saying it to the divine, the great something, the great mystery, until that dissolves. I say it to the great something. So in other words, I'm saying thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and I love you, to the great something. I am not speaking to another person, and I never say them out loud, and I would never say them to you. If I had a problem with you, I wouldn't be saying it directly to you. I wouldn't walk up to you and say, hey, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. You would have no clue what I was doing. It would be internal. Because I'd go, oh, if I have a problem with him, which could be Trump, it could be anybody, if I have a problem with anybody out there, the problem's in me. It's my perception that is causing me pain. I clean my perception and the outer will get better.